Welcome back to Learn SKN and part 2 of the January 2020 CSEC Principles of Business past paper. Welcome back to part 2, and we are not going to waste any time. We are going to just jump right back into it from number 3. But of course, you know what to do: like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, help the channel to grow so that we can all learn from each other. All right, so let's just jump right back in. Number 3, define each of the following terms and state one example of each. So marketing, we have marketing now. All right, good. Define the term market as it relates to marketing. Now, how does this work? Of course, we know that a market can be defined as any situation that brings a buyer and seller into contact to conduct business. Any situation. So a market, you see now CX start putting this to the side because they don't want anybody talking about a market being a place, right? They don't want a market being a place. So a market is any situation that brings a buyer and seller into contact to conduct business. Now, as it relates to marketing, now when you say you're marketing, we're looking for a market for a good. In this case, we're looking at something. For example, let's state one example of each. So therefore, one example of a market would be, let's look at the example first, and then so we're going to link it to the definition. So a market would be a bunch of buyers and sellers of a particular good. So a market would be a collection of buyers and sellers of a particular good. For example, there's a market out there for shoes. There's a market for shoes. They are buyers of shoes and they are suppliers or sellers of shoes. Nike, Adidas, Reebok, all those are sellers in the market of shoes. So the market of shoes, everybody wants shoes, everybody wants to buy shoes. So therefore, that's the market for shoes. And then when you want an example of a market, you have buyers and sellers coming together. You have Nike, Adidas, Reebok. All those are a part of the market for shoes. Let me use one of my economic slides to define that. So a market is a group of buyers and sellers of a particular good or service. So that's one definition you can use. So a market is a group of buyers or sellers of a particular good or service. So you have your buyers and you have your sellers. You have your buyers and your sellers, and when you combine, that's the market for a particular good. As I gave an example, the market for shoes, you have a market for cars, you have your Volvo, your Audi, your BMW, all those are market for cars. So that's 3 marks right there. So you define the market and then you proceed to, giving the example. All right, so that's it for that question right there. So if we look at what the textbook says, here's what the textbook says. However, in business, a market is not a physical place where goods and services are sold. The market for any given product, whether good or services, consists of all those consumers willing and able to buy the product, and those producers willing and able to supply it wherever they are located. So, for example, the market for computers consists of all those people and organizations worldwide who want to buy, make, or sell computers. Similarly, there is a market for every type of food, television, car, holiday, shoes, insurance, and every other goods or services. Some markets may be small and local, such as a market for a local newspaper or a local school uniform, while others are worth many billions of dollars each year and involve sales. So that's a market. Next question. Marketing now. You have to define marketing. Again, define examples. Let's define it. Marketing in business is a process of identifying, creating, communicating, and delivering value to consumers so that their needs and wants can be satisfied at a profit. That's marketing. So our next definition for marketing would be, marketing would be this systematic way in which a producer goes about getting their goods from the producer to the final consumer. All right, it's a systematic approach to getting your goods from the producer to the consumer. So all those systems inside there, in the middle between the producer and the final consumer, is considered marketing. So you have this whole one here, this mouthful here, is identifying, creating, communicating, and delivering value to consumers so that their needs and wants can be satisfied at a profit. That is marketing. And examples of marketing will of course be, sales promotion, advertising, those kind of things. Those are examples of marketing. Sponsorships, all those things are examples of marketing. You have social media marketing, such as your Facebook, your Instagram. All those things are examples of getting the idea out about your product and what your product is all about. So that's marketing in a nutshell. 3 marks, you got that. So you define marketing, and then you go about listing examples of marketing, where you have social media marketing, samples, sales promotion, discounts, advertising. All those things are examples of word of mouth, influencers, Instagram influencers. All those are examples of marketing. So that's marketing in a nutshell. And next, okay, let me get a simple definition we can give from the Oxford. You have marketing: the process of getting consumers to buy a firm's product. This involves making arrangements for distribution and advertising current products. It also covers market research to discover likely customers and reaction to potential new products. Again, marketing, market, whole lot of definitions out there. All right, next question. Let's go to the next question here. State 2 benefits of the packaging of products. 2 benefits of the packaging of products. Of course, 1, state. So short answers, state. 1, information. Packaging a product gives information about that product. For those who might want to see the textbook, let's look at what the textbook says about the whole marketing and packaging of the product. So packaging refers to the material used on the outer part of a physical product, which have dual purpose of protecting the product and attracting customers. So you see it right there? Protect the product and attract the customers. So let's say here, state the benefits of packaging of product. Right there, protecting and attracting the customers. And of course, there are other advantages of product of using packaging. 1, instant brand recognition. Based on the package, they can see what the brand is, and so from afar they can go and say, okay, that's what I like, go and get it. Easy distribution. Now the packaging can help with convenience, right? Easy distribution. You don't want any fat bottles of drinks, because if you have to drink a soda and it's fat, it's going to be difficult for kids to grab it. One example I saw when I went to marketing class is where you have certain packages, like for example you have like true juice and stuff like that, and they change the style of their packaging, and one reason was so that it can accommodate small lunch boxes for children. So you shrink or you make the package smaller so you can hold in packaging for children. So easy distribution. And of course, packaging gives information to the customers, whether it is nutritional information, ingredients, expiry date, that kind of stuff. It gives information. And of course, again, protect and preserve the product, that goes without saying, and protection of the end user, so that you can be able to see direction and stuff, so you don't use things differently. And you don't want to. You can use packaging to, like we have children packaging for medicine, so that they don't open it and eat it. So packaging is vital to your product, and so you see the benefits of packaging your products. And I'll just outline any one of those, and you would have gotten your 2 marks for that one. Alright, see some nice packaging here, very convenient, information, nice and attractive. Packaging is what helps with all of this. Alright, good. Next question. List 3 different forms of advertising and state the purpose of each form. List 3 different forms of advertising and state the purpose of each form. Advertising. So see, list 3 different forms of advertising and state the purpose of each form. All right. So this one goes against the trend where the last question normally the 6 marker. So let's go. So you have to list 3 and then the purpose of each form to get your 6 marks. So let's go. Advertising. So advertising promotes brand awareness and image. So advertising may be informative, persuasive, competitive, collective, or generic. So those we have 4, but they only works for 3. So let's look at examples. So informative. So informative advertisement is advertising for giving information, factual information. So let's look at what the textbook says about that one. All right, informative advertising provides technical and other information about a product to the customers. So that's what they outline each. So informative advertising provides technical and other information about a product to the customers. You have methods of promoting sales. So let's look at there's a next. Let's go. Informative again. Informative advertising provides technical and other information about a product to a customer. Some examples include shop opening times, contact details, bus and boat timetables, restaurant menus, user manuals for electronic equipment and food ingredients. Informative advertisements can help to increase the credibility and the reputation of a product and an organization. So that's informative. So informative advertising is where it simply is there to give information. That's the main aim of that form of advertisement. Give information like opening hours, menu, ingredients, instructions, those kind of things. Then you have persuasive advertising. All right, persuasive, as it suggests, is the main aim is to, of course, get you to buy the stuff. Persuasive advertising is designed to create consumers' want and boost sales of a product. It can be used to create powerful brand images. Spending a large amount of money on advertising can create a barrier to new competition. So it wants to encourage you to boost. So you want to boost spending, boost sales. So it is used to encourage you to buy a certain product. It's not for information alone. That's why they would give you the whole fancy advertising campaign, make you laugh, make you want that product. So persuasive advertising is designed to make a consumer want a particular product. It is designed to boost the sale of new and existing products, often at the expense of rival products. It aims to cause brand switching among customers. So we all know that because majority of advertising is for persuasion, to help you to move from one product to a next, make you look better than one product over a next. So that's 2. Now our next one would be, of course, competitive. Come to Sandy Cove Hotel. So competitive advertising is simply to try to make your product look way better than another product. So you want to compare 2 products. So you go, if you have a rival and everybody know who the rival is, you go and say, this is what we offer, this is what they offer. We are way more, we are better than they are. Of course, you really something we can't call names of the product or they show you. So you put, you put advertisement with the same colors and the kind of stuff, the same font. So everybody who's anybody know who they're talking about. So this form of advertising is used to put one brand, one product, one organization versus the next. So you can see the difference, the pros and cons, or the advantages yours have over theirs. So that's competitive. And of course, you have collective or generic advertising. Visit the Caribbean. So if you're advertising sun, and B, sun and sun, you want to lump them together, and you say, visit the Caribbean. So you're advertising on a whole for all the Caribbean countries. Other advertising campaigns like it would be like the Got Milk campaign, where you say, got milk? No, that was for all milk producers. It's not for just one company, one individual. It's for all milk producers. Got milk? Or maybe your agriculture department might have a eat local promotion. Eat local. No, that would be for every single local company there. Like for example in Jamaica, Trinidad, wherever. So eat local, you advertise. Eat local. Local days coming up. That would be for every single local company, organization that provides stuff locally. So that's the next form of advertisement right there. The collective or the generic, where you advertise as a collective. Alright, so that would answer that question. You outline any two. Bada bing, bada boom. You have your 6 marks. Alright, straightforward enough. Then you have D. Explain the importance of one of the elements of the marketing mix. What is the marketing mix, you might ask? The marketing mix is, of course, goes by the name of the 4 P's. Alright, the 4 P's of marketing. The marketing mix: product, price, place, promotion. The 4 P's of marketing. Where is it? Where is that slide? Here we go. The 4 P's of marketing: product, promotion, price, place. And of course, let's look at it. We're going to outline again. Videos have been done on this marketing. So go check the video, look at it more in depth, and look at a better understanding of this question. The marketing mix: product, promotion, price, place. Product, the right product for the market. Promotion, advertising, public relations, displays, etc. Price, high end for profit, low end to stimulate demand. So you price based on how you want people to treat your product. And where, per place is where and how the product is sold. Where and how. So let's go a little, let's skim the top. Like I said, it's been done already in another video, but let's just skim the top so that you might have a better understanding of what we're talking about here. Alright, so the product. Product refers to a good or service that the business sells. So the product is the actual good or service that the business offers. A tangible product can be touched, such as a vehicle or gadget. An intangible product cannot be touched, does not have a physical nature, such as coaching or downloadable music. However, whether tangible or intangible, it must be able to satisfy the needs of the customers. So that's product. If you're looking at product, explain the importance of one element of marketing mix. So if you choose product, first you define what it is, and of course you know the importance of this. Once a market researcher has identified the preference of your target market, you can start designing and develop product and product features to appeal to them. So the product is the actual good or service that the business or the entrepreneur has to offer. And of course, it's important, like there's no business without the product. So without the product, there's actually no business. So everything might be centered around that product. So the product is, of course, vital. Of course, it's important. The product is what you center your business around. It could be a good, it could be a service. So the product is what you surround the business based on. So you don't want to, I mean honestly, is there a business without the product? Find the right focus. The product is fixed. A marketing strategy is needed to sell it. Local distributors need product focus when selling imported goods designated for world market. Then you have the consumer focused product. Start with customer needs and preferences. The product is developed and adjusted to satisfy the customers. Local manufacturers and service industries may use consumer focus to develop the product. So again, I can't stress again how to answer this question when it is a product. Explain the importance of one element of the marketing mix. If you choose product, the product is the good or service that the business offers. This good is the tangible one, the service is the intangible one, and the product is what most of the business is centered around. There would not really be any business without the product. Alright, so that's the product in the marketing mix. Let's say we're looking at maybe the price. Let's look at the price. How about the price as the most important thing, as the P. So price. Setting the right price to charge consumers for your product is an important element of the marketing mix. If you set the price too high, consumers may be unwilling or unable to afford to buy it. On the other hand, setting the price too low may not cover the cost of production of producing each item. Also, if you set the cost too low, people might think that the product is cheap and therefore they might not be willing to buy it. So the price is important because the price is really the only thing in the marketing mix that really you can control to affect your bottom line. Right, the price, because at the end of the day, the product has to have a price attached to it, and based on the price you have attached to the product, that will determine whether you make a profit or loss. So that's how vital the price is. The price can be the one to determine whether you make the profit or loss. Can it be too high, nobody buy it? Can it be too low, or it might not cover your costs? So that's a loss right there. Can it be too low, or it might not be sold because people might think it's a cheap or inferior product. And of course, I did a video on price, and that goes into pricing. So for the 3 marks, you will state how vital the price is, and the price, if it's too high, what happens? If it's too low, what happens? Two things that can happen. And so therefore, you must adapt the right pricing strategy if you want to maximize profit on that product. Alright, so you have different types of pricing, and again, I did a video based on that. You can go and look for it, but you can see why the price is important. Too high, nobody might be able to afford it and buy it, so you might not make any money. Too low, you might not cover your costs, you might make a loss. Or too low, people might think the product is inferior and not buy it, and you still might make a loss. And so you can see it's vital because it affects your profit or loss, the price. So pricing is crucial. Then what if we choose to do, let's say, product? We looked at product, we looked at price. What about place? After developing the product and deciding on the right pricing strategy to use, your business must then get the product to the consumer. So price, place. Your product cannot be sold, whether the price is nice or not, it cannot be sold if it's in the wrong place at the wrong time. Your product must be in the right place at the right time for your target consumers to see it in order for it to make sense. You cannot put a product in a place where your audience is not going. If you look at advertising and television, product placement, you're not going to put childish stuff on a mature channel. You're not going to put childish stuff in a mature movie because that's not your target audience. So you're not going to sell, let's say, children's stuff in a bar, because a bar is where adults go to hang. So you're not really going to sell too much childish things in a bar. And the flip side, if you want to sell an alcoholic beverage, you're not going to sell it in like a McDonald's or Chuck E. Cheese's that are attracting youngsters. So placing is crucial. You have to be able to place the product in a place where it can be met by your target audience, your target customers. A business can spend a great deal of time and money on developing and promoting a product, but if it's not in the right place at the right time for the consumers, all the money and effort will have been wasted. For example, if fresh vegetables are not delivered to a shop, the customers quickly, they may perish and cannot be sold. The objective is therefore to make sure that this similar problem do not happen by choosing the right channels of distribution and place of sale, such as supermarkets and department stores, market stalls, or online. See, so the place, you have to choose the right place, right time, target audience in order to get your product sold. Then the last 4 P's, promotion. Promotions are marketing communications designed to influence consumer behavior and spending decisions. They make consumers aware of your product, its brand name and features, where it is sold, and the price it is sold for. Promotion aim therefore to create consumer want for your product in order to generate sales and profits. Right there, boom. That's how important promotion is. Now, you have seen this happen. A movie comes out, there's no marketing, there's promotion, no promotion, and the movie flops. You be like, I didn't even know they made a movie based on that. Why? There was no promotion behind the movie. So promotion is what gets the information out there about your price, your product, and the place of the product. So promotion is key to propelling the other 3 P's of the 4 P's. Promotion is used to tell the people, this is my product, this is the price, this is where you can get it. What sense does it make to put a product out there and don't tell people where to get it, what the price is, and stuff like that? So promotion is key in getting your product to the final consumers. You need to promote your product to get it to the final consumers. Simple as that. Whether you promote it by reducing the price, advertising, whatever, the main aim of promotion is to create consumer wants, buzz around the product so that it can be sold and you make a profit. So those are the 4 P's, and you can see how the 4 of them work together, and they are important in order for your business to be successful. Alright, so that's it for those. So you outline anyone, get your 3 marks, boom, almost there. Alright, then the next question, last question here. Explain one factor that would influence a consumer to buy a particular brand of product. Of course, very straightforward, but I know you might want to see the textbook version, so let's see what the textbook says. So this one again, there are many factors that influence a consumer to buy a particular brand of product. So explain one factor that would influence a consumer to buy a particular brand of product. So let's look at the list right here. Alright, so you have consumers are influenced by income and affordability, spending patterns, what comes first, price of substitute, rice or flour, quality, taste and preferences, not just for foods, tradition, brand loyalty. So let's look. Wow, this is a long one. This is gonna be a long one because I never know which one you're gonna choose. All right, so let's try our best to look at them individually and see what we can come up with. All right, so to the textbook we go. So the first one is an obvious one, price. So let's look at it. Price. No, I don't have to go too in depth with this one. Price. Simple. Money is not a finite resource. Money is infinite. Right? Sorry. Money is finite. I wish it was infinite. Money is finite. Your money can be done. So now you have to decide what to spend your money on. Now, price is a big factor in determining what kind of products you buy. If your price is too high, then you would not buy it. You cannot afford it, or you feel as though you cannot afford it, or you feel as though it's too expensive. So price is a big issue. If it's too low, then again, you might not buy it because you might feel as though the product is inferior. Also, if price is too low, when we're looking at the producer's perspective, the consumer's perspective. So we're not looking at the producers. So we're looking at the buyer's perspective. You are a person going into a store. Immediately, the price will be what you can determine whether you buy something or not. Too high, can't afford, I don't buy. Too low, my thing is cheap, I won't buy. Just right, then I would buy. So that's how the price would influence what you buy. Alright, so let's go. Product price. Business need to know what will happen to consumer demand for product if they increase or reduce their price. They also need to know what will happen to total spending by consumers on product. Most consumers buy fewer goods and services as their price rise, unless their income rise as well. Consumers will simply not be able to afford to buy as many goods or services as their prices increase. Many consumers may also switch their spending towards cheaper alternatives. So again, we looked at supply and demand earlier, and this is exactly what supply and demand is talking about. So in terms of demand, you will demand more of a product if the price is lower, and you will demand less if the price goes up. So that's how the price would influence consumer behavior. The price is too high, less you demand, you buy less. Price is too low, you buy less too. But if the price is low enough, you would buy more. So let's say you had something cost $10, you feel it's too expensive. It goes down to, let's say, $5. That's the right sweet spot for you. So at 10 you might buy just one, but at 5 you might buy 2. And so therefore, when the price is right, you buy more. When it's too high, you buy less. So that's as simple as to how price affects your behavior. Spending patterns. What comes first? This one is a clear one. right? Now what this one is talking about is you as a consumer, you have certain priorities. You have certain things that you do in terms of spending. So you go to the store and you have your list. Of course, you're going to prioritize what you need. You're not going to just go to the store and just buy everything. You are going to prioritize what you need. There are various factors that determine consumer spending as follows: demographic, level of income, seasonal patterns, consumer confidence. So you are just going, so maybe you as a youngster might buy trendy stuff. Maybe that's what you like. So therefore your patterns, your spending pattern will be a certain way by the time you're a certain age. Now older folks would tend to buy things, you know, on a more priority based system. When you're young, you just go and buy crazy stuff. But when you're older, you might prioritize your buying. So you might be going to the supermarket to buy your food stuff, and then you buy your cleaning stuff, that kind of thing. And then the supermarket can know, okay, every week this person comes and these are what they buy, household items, that blah, 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 based on their spending patterns. So based on how you buy your spending patterns, that will determine what you buy, when you buy it, how much you buy it. Also, when you look at ethnicity, you know, demographics, age, certain ethnicities buy certain things more than others. That's just how it is. You have a preference for certain things, and therefore that would outline what you prefer, your buying patterns. Your level of income, of course, we're going to go into that later on, because that's also one thing that influences your buying patterns. So we look at price, we look at spending patterns, what comes first, income and affordability. Now this one, to me, is the bottom line, income. Because income can really determine how much of anything you can buy. Because if you're super rich, then the price ain't really matter to you, you know. You're super rich, price ain't mean anything to you. If you're poor, price means a lot to you. So your income can affect what you buy, and that's one of the easiest ones to explain, your income. Apart from price, income is very easy to explain. You're broke, that can affect what you can afford. You're rich, that can affect what you can afford. So your income can determine what and how much you can afford. Simple as that. You might buy more expensive luxury items based on your income, or you might buy more affordable, more frugal stuff if you do not have a high income. So that's the next obvious one that shows that affect your buying decisions. Then price of substitute, rice or flour. Again, this one can be explained easily. Substitutes. So you roll up into a supermarket, right? And you see margarine and you see butter. So you see I can't believe it's not butter. And you see maybe your, Land O'Lakes, whatever. You see a butter brand. You're going to be like, okay, one costs 5, one costs 10. Which one would I buy? Now the truth is, they basically do the same thing. So you as a price sensitive consumer going to buy or should buy the cheaper one. Butter, margarine, similar items, similar things. You're going to buy the cheaper one. Whichever one is cheapest, you buy. Simple as that. You go into the store again. You see a whole shelf full of different sodas. I mean, most of them. You have your Mountain Dew, you have your Sprite, 7-Up, all that stuff. Your Coke, your Pepsi. At the end of the day, you want a soda, give it that buzz in the throat, the acid, the nice carbonated drink. As a price conscious consumer, you are going to buy the one that's cheapest, because they do similar products, similar things, because they are substitute. They can substitute for each other. They do similar things. So therefore, the price of substitutes can affect what you buy. If they do the same thing in your mind and the one is cheaper than the other, naturally you'll go for the cheapest one or the cheaper one. So that is how it can affect what you do. You go buy cars, you look at the cars, look at the features, the set, whichever car might be. They take it from A to B, right? They take it from A to B. You're gonna buy the one that is cheapest, because as far as you're concerned, they do basically the same thing, substitutes. So let's look at the example here. For example, an increase in the price of butter may result in an increase in the demand for margarine. This is because butter and margarine are close substitutes for many consumers. That is, they both satisfy the same consumer want. Right there, just say that. Alright, so the price of close substitutes can influence what you buy. And then of course you have quality. Now this one is pretty much self-explanatory. You buy a pair of shoes with no name, no brand, they mash up. You don't really, you might think twice before you go into the store and buy that. So you go into the store, you see Nike, then you see generic. Of course, you would think Nike, higher quality, generic, mash up easily. That would influence which one you buy. You are a sucker for quality, you buy a nice Nike shoe. If you say, I don't care about quality, I just want maybe 3 pair of shoes for the price of one, you go with that. So that's how that can influence your decision. Quality can influence whether you buy a product or not. You think it's gonna break now, poor quality, you don't buy it. You think it's gonna last because it's good quality, you buy it. Simple as that. Taste and preference. This is not just for food, we're talking about your personal liking towards something. That's your taste or preference, your personal liking to something. And so therefore your taste will influence what you buy. Now if you love a certain article of clothes, a style of clothing, you're gonna buy it. You don't like that clothing type, you're not gonna buy it. Alright? Taste can be interpreted in 2 ways. Taste when consuming food and beverages. Taste refers to flavor, sour, salty, or in general sense. Taste refers to individual preferences or lifestyle choices. For example, teenagers choose their outfits according to their preference in terms of color, design, material, length, and stuff like that. So taste is about your fashion sense, your preference. So you walk into a store, you roll into a store, you see a 2 pair of jean pants. One has rips, one don't. One is aged, one is tattered, one isn't. You might be conservative, a Christian person. You say, okay, I don't want my legs exposed. You buy your long, normal jean pants. You might be somebody who ain't care. You buy your tattered jeans. Same way, short versus long skirts. Alright, same way, basketball sneakers versus a pair of leather shoes. So about taste. So that can influence what you want to buy and how you purchase it. Again, video is done on these, you can go more in depth. Then we're looking at tradition, brand loyalty. Tradition means what you grew up seeing. Alright, so if you see your mommy used to buy this, when you roll into the supermarket or the store and you see it, then you might just buy it because your mom used to buy it. That's what you know, so you buy it. That brand has been that brand has been traditionally what is used around the house, you buy it. Or the flip side is you don't want to follow tradition, and so if you know traditionally your mom would buy this, you say I am my mom, you buy your own thing. So that's how tradition can affect your preference, influence your preference. Then of course, brand loyalty. Brand loyalty, what is brand loyalty? Now some people, I explained this already in the video, but some people prefer Apple, so they buy everything Apple. They are loyal to the brand of Apple, so therefore they buy the iPads, earpods, MacBooks, MacBook Pros, just everything Apple. Some might be more loyal to Microsoft, Windows, so they buy the Windows laptop. They buy the Microsoft headphones, that kind of stuff. You might be a Google person, so you buy your Android phone, your Android Chromebook, stick to Google, Gmail, whatever. Brand loyalty. You might be a Nike person, you love Nike, loyal to the Nike brand, so you buy your Nike shoes, you buy everything Nike. Nike jeans, Nike t-shirts, your active wear, Nike tops, Nike bottoms, Nike sneakers, everything Nike. So the brand would be what influences your purchasing decision. Alright? So that's it for that question. 3 marks, whichever one you choose, go to town in it, and that would be it for that question. Question 4. For each of the following Caribbean countries, lists in the table identify one natural resource and its related industries. Very simple, very straightforward, especially if you live in Jamaica and you live in Guyana. For the smaller islands, we know this still from geography, social, we know this still. So we have, they asked for Guyana, Jamaica. So right here we have Guyana. You have, of course, the fertile soil as a natural resource. Fish, shrimp, bauxite, gold, timber, diamond, and of course, even before this book was written, after this book was written, gold. We know Guyana has oil, black gold, oil. We know Guyana have struck it rich with oil, so of course you can put oil right in there, straight up with Trinidad, and so therefore that would spawn various industries. So let's go. Guyana again, fertile soil, fish, shrimp, bauxite, gold, timber, diamonds, and of course oil. And associated industry, you have sugar production, fishing, fish processing, rice, gold mining, and of course you have oil production and all those things associated with oil. So that's Guyana. Very easy question. Jamaica, you have bauxite, gypsum, limestone. Of course you have the beaches, Negril, water, that's all the rivers and stuff. Rich soil, and of course you have the Blue Mountain. And of course, for that, you have things like the tourism. Of course, tourism is very popular in Jamaica, one of the biggest tourism destinations in the Caribbean. Tourism, hospitality, agriculture, bauxite, gypsum industry. So, of course, I think there's some aluminum going on in Jamaica also. But these are natural resources and associated industries, related industries. So, natural resources and the related industries in Jamaica and Guyana. Don't forget oil for Guyana. Big oil deposits in Guyana. And of course you can break down some of these industries further. You have your diamond and gold, you have jewelry and jewel shops and all those jewel mine, all that kind of stuff. Related industries. 4 marks, 1, 2, 3, 4. Very simple, very straightforward. State 4 reasons why tourists visit the Caribbean. Again, pretty much self-explanatory. 4 reasons why tourists visit the Caribbean. So apart from some of the obvious answers, you have things like ecotourism, food tourism, agricultural tourism. Now let's break it down. Why do tourists come to the Caribbean? So you have, like, for example, Jamaica, Trinidad, Barbados, and a bunch of other countries. We have different universities. So of course you have educational tourism. So that's one reason why they visit the Caribbean, educational tourism. Of course, you have ecotourism, where they come to the Caribbean to see all our natural beauty, all our heritage sites, bird watches, Brimstone Hill Park, all those other things. So ecotourism. Then of course, you have where tourists come to the Caribbean for sporting events. So you have sports tourism. So there are a lot of reasons why tourists come to St. Kitts. The Caribbean and other islands. Alright, so you can go to town on this one because you know the answers for this one. Where tourists come to the different islands for sun, sand, to see the people, for cultural purposes, to see the carnivals and stuff like that, for education, as I said before, to see the natural sites, to engage in food tourism. You see people travel from place to place to taste the different food, and a whole bunch of other reasons. Tourists come to the Caribbean for a lot of different reasons, and of course, you can simply state any 4 reasons why they would visit the Caribbean. Okay, you have financial reasons for coming to the Caribbean. Of course, you have some offshore facilities, so you come to the Caribbean for those kind of things. So this question you can't spend too much time on. Very simple, very straightforward. This last question is a ball, man. Briefly explain one in which Caribbean nationals all the governments could contribute to improvement of their tourism product. Of course, to improve your tourism product, of course, you have to do things like you have to train your human resource naturally. So you have to educate, train your human resource, especially as it relates to hospitality, customer service, those kind of things. You have to train your people better in those different sectors: hospitality, customer relations, all those kind of things. So training, skills training, education is one way in which you can improve your overall tourism product. Of course, our next way is to protect your natural resources. So you can use laws and rules and regulations to protect your beaches, protect your sanctuaries. So you basically cordon off people from taking full advantage of these resources. You protect and you build reserves for these resources. So you said this is our national treasure or national park. It's against the law to go and pillage or steal or destroy or vandalize these things. So you have to put in law ways to protect your different resources that can help to enhance your tourism product. Of course, promotions. You have to go and now sell your islands, your resources, your products. You see different magazines on airplanes, in hotels, where you are promoting your country, promoting what they have to offer. So you have to sell, so you have to market. So this is marketing, spend money in the budget to market your tourism product. You have to go and put them in magazines. You have to host international music festivals, food festivals, those kind of things, to bring in people into your country. You have to host different tournaments, cricket World Cup, all those things. You have to do these things in order to attract people to your island, to enhance your product, to show them, look, this is the quality of the product that we have right there. So you also have to be synergistic. You have to link different industries. You can't just have the tourism sector by itself. You have to link the tourism sector with the environment, the Ministry of Environment, the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Agriculture. All of those have to work together in order to enhance the overall tourism product. You want to enhance ecotourism, of course, you have to tap the environmental minister, the environmental ministry, to ensure that the heritage sites are kept and everything. So ministries have to work together in order to enhance the overall tourism product. You can't just leave it there by itself. So all those are ways in which you can enhance or improve your tourism product. And again, common sense question, you can come up with a lot of answers for this very question right there. And of course, one of the big things that we're seeing today is also improving, like I said, synergies between ministries. So the Ministry of Health, so health facilities. You have to invest in health facilities so that you would not deter persons from coming to your country and of fear of getting sick. So you have to make sure that your health, your country has adequate health services. And adding to that, crime. Crime is a big deterrent factor as it relates to tourism. So, of course, to enhance your tourism product, you have to make sure that the crime in your area, in your country, is under control, because you don't want tourists to feel that if they come to your country, they are going to be attacked and stuff like that, and therefore that would diminish the overall tourism product. So you don't want that. So all those are ways in which the government can contribute to the improvement to the tourism product. All right, next one. Define each of the following levels of production: domestic, export, domestic and export. Very simple again. Levels of production, domestic and export. So let's go right into that. So domestic level of production is when businesses supply products to sell to other people in their own country. Whereas export is where you produce enough to sell to other markets overseas. So domestic, again, as the name suggests, domestic level production is where you provide, production is on a level where you provide just for the local market, the domestic market. For example, you produce enough just for the Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, St. Kitts, Nevis, Antigua, whatever. You produce enough just for your, I don't want to use the same word, but your domestic economy, your country. You don't produce enough to sell to other countries. That level of production is just on that level where you produce enough for that country, that local market. So it is when business supply products to sell to other people in their own country. That's domestic. Whereas export is, as the name suggests, you provide enough to sell to other markets. In some countries, business produce goods and services almost entirely for the export market. So they sell enough, they produce enough for the export market, as in to sell to other countries. So domestic is where you produce enough to sell within your country, and export is producing enough to sell to other countries. So again, in some countries, business produce goods and services almost entirely for the export market. Few, if any, of their output are sold to their own country. This may be because there is insufficient domestic demand or to avoid competition with other local businesses. For example, many Caribbean countries provide tourism and hospitality services primarily for travelers from other countries. So you see what they're talking about here? So domestic is where you provide enough, you produce to supply to your country, whereas export is where you produce to supply to almost entirely to an overseas market. So that's what you use to define those two. D, explain two ways in which a firm that is producing chicken nuggets may benefit from backward linkage. 6 marks. Woo! Big bad 6 marks right here. 6 marks. So how do you get that? First of all, you have to understand what is a backward linkage. Now, you define that first, and then you proceed to explain two ways in which a firm that producing chicken nuggets may benefit from a backward linkage. Now, what is a linkage? Now, a linkage is where you have different types of production coming together to help each other out in a sense. For example, you have forward linkage, you have backward linkage. Backward linkage is where industry that is working in, let's say, the secondary level of production, like manufacturing, construction, where they link or they use some industry in the primary level, that's extractive, farming, mining, fishing, those levels, to for various advantages. So that's an example of a backward linkage. So let's look at the textbook and see what they say about linkages. So from the textbook, we see a linkage industry exists when one industry depends on the output of another industry for its own production or sales. And you have the forward linkage and the backward linkage. But in this case, we are looking at the backward linkage. Backward linkages are when one industry creates a demand for the product of another industry. For example, supermarkets, restaurants, and coffee shops will sell instant and filtered coffee onto customers. These retailers rely on the manufacturer to supply them with its product to meet consumer demand. Similarly, the makers of windows and cars will form linkages with glass manufacturers to supply them with the glass panel they need to manufacture their own. The backward linkage is when one industry creates a demand for the product of another industry. So you define that first. And then let's look at the chicken nuggets part. So state two ways in which a firm that is producing chicken nuggets may benefit from a backward linkage. Now, if you're producing chicken nuggets, you would be in the secondary industry. So you are processing, constructing, manufacturing something. So therefore, you want to link with an industry that's in the primary sector. So in this case, chicken, so you need someone who provides chicken, so of course a poultry farmer. So you need to link with a poultry farmer to get the meats you need to make your chicken nuggets. How can this benefit the chicken nuggets person? One, they would have an established supply chain for their products. So you don't have to go out and try to source chicken parts every time. Once you link with a poultry farmer, you would have your chicken pads that you need, or even not even a poultry farm alone, a chicken processing industry. You link with that, and you're able to get your chicken pads that you need in order to make your chicken nuggets. So convenience right there. So you have a source, a supply chain one time for your chicken pads. So you don't have to look up and down for your chicken pads. Now this can be advantageous because you can use your supply chain as an advantage over others who are making the same chicken nuggets. Others might be struggling to find a supply for chicken pads, whereas you have one. You can use that as an advantage for your company. Also, if you and the supplier are cool enough, you can get discounts, trade discounts and stuff like that for buying in bulk your chicken pads. And as such, you can pass on those price advantages to your customers, and so you can sell the nuggets cheaper than others, giving you an advantage. So all those are benefits I've outlined just now as to how you can they can gain from having a linkage. Let's look at some benefits that the textbook can outline for us right here. Some benefits of linkage industries. All right, linkage can encourage large-scale production and create additional business and employment opportunities. But that's not what we're looking for. Business-specific linkages right here. Domestic and surplus level production may increase. This can allow countries to reduce their reliance on imports and increase imports. This will help to improve their balance of payments. So this is on a country level, but on a business level, you can see here there is a reduced risk of disruption to your supply of inputs. So if you already have a link with a chicken pads farmer, then a poultry farmer, then that can reduce the risk of you not having enough chicken pads to produce your nuggets. So that can save money and time, and so that's a benefit right there again. So if you have also contracts for supplying inputs can improve the quality of inputs. So if you have a contract with the poultry farmer, then they would be willing to provide high quality products, especially if they know there's competition out there for other poultry farmers. So of course they're gonna up their game because they might know, okay, I'll be able to link with somebody else if you do not, do what you're supposed to do. So all those are advantages you can gain from having a linkage as a chicken nuggets producer with a poultry farmer. So you state any two and you go to town on those questions. Whether it is cost savings, that's one benefit. Whether it is an assured supply chain, whether it is you can get an assured market well assured supply chain for your products, whether it is you can have limited risk of disruption in your products. So there are so many advantages you can gain as a chicken nuggets farmer if you link with, let's say, a poultry farmer. This one is just a list. All right, so list, just have to list the indicators. You don't have to explain. Same way, list 4 indicators of quality of life. So you have to list, you don't have to explain. So that's 8 easy marks there. So let's go. List standard of living. Here we go. So standard of living is a measures of the wealth as well as basic needs and material comfort that a citizen has the ability to buy and be able to enjoy in a country. So what are some of the indicators of standard of living? And we have a whole list of indicators right here, such as we have level of disposable income, that's 1. We have national ownership of capital, that's 2. You have level of consumption. You have access to modern technology. All those are indicators. You have level of investment in research and technology. That's the next one. You have what else? So level of investment in research and technology. You have access to modern technology, disposable income, national ownership of capital. You also have things like your it's about your consumption, your level of consumption. That's the key thing about your standard of living. Measures the wealth as well as the basic needs and material comfort that citizens has the ability to buy and be able to enjoy. So I did a whole video on standard of living versus quality of life, and so we're talking about the amount of something, whether they can afford, a person can afford. And you have the whole list right there. Alright, national ownership. So we have the whole list there. So you list them, and that's the answer for that one. Then, of course, they ask for list the indicators of a country's quality of life. That's a whole different ball game. Quality of life. And so you have different indicators, such as extent of security enjoyed or level of crime. That's an indicator. You have access to high quality healthcare. That's an indicator. You have availability of educational facilities. That's an indicator. Access to recreational facilities. That's the next indicator. Your nutrition and diet. That's the next indicator. Infant mortality rate. That's the next indicator. Life expectancy. That's the next indicator. And access to electricity. That's a next indicator. And access to clean water, access to basic drinking water, that's a next indicator of quality of life. Alright, so whereas the standard of living would be about how much someone can afford and whether they have access to certain goods and services, the quality of life is about their well-being, a person's well-being, and it is affected by various indicators which I've just listed, such as level of crime, level of security, level of freedom, personal freedom, level of healthcare, access to water, availability of education, access to recreational facilities, your diet, your nutrition, infant mortality rate, life expectancy. So all those are indicators of quality of life. Then you have differentiate between economic growth and economic development. Differentiate between economic growth and economic development. Again, both are different. One is a qualitative measurement and one is a quantitative measurement. Again, one is a qualitative measurement and one is a quantitative measurement. What does this mean? Economic growth is usually measured as the increase in the value of production of goods and services in a country over a period of 1 year when compared to the previous year. So economic growth is about, GDP. And of course, I did a video on that you should check out so you can get a more in-depth understanding. So economic growth simply means whether the country would have increased or decreased in the amount of the value of goods or services produced within that economy. So that's the quantitative, where you can actually put a figure. Quantitative, you put a figure on economic growth. So economic growth is a quantitative measure, and it is the measurement of the dollar value of how much goods and services were produced within a country over a period of time, usually a year, and in essence, that's GDP. So your economic growth can increase or decrease based on different factors. So GDP can go up or come down. Whereas economic development now is the qualitative measurement. It is when an economy improves its standard of living and quality of life by improving both the economic and social conditions of its citizens. It includes improvements in infrastructure, education, healthcare, workforce skills and productivity, access to financial capital and technology, life expectancy, income, etc. It is the qualitative in nature it is more qualitative in nature than economic growth. So those are the differences right there. So differentiate between the two. One is qualitative, quality. That's about well-being. So that's economic development. And one is quantitative, quantity, economic growth. And economic growth is just a measurement of the overall monetary value of goods and services produced within an economy over a period of a year. So that's basically a GDP. Whereas economic growth is about the improvements in standard of living and quality of life within an economy. So it's about your access to education, healthcare, your improvement in your human resource, those things, the qualitative nature, right? So those are the two differences. And again, I have a video entitled economic growth versus economic development. Look at that video and you'll be able to answer and understand why this question is answered in such a way. Then we have a very simple one. Define the term human resource development. We do not have to go to the book for that one. Simple. Human resource development is enhancing the personnel within an economy, enhancing the people. The human resource is the people. So human resource development is where you enhance or improve the personnel within the economy. Alright, and so therefore, that's why the Human Development Index tend to measure. It's about enhancing the people within an economy or country. So here the textbook states the development of human resource occurs through education, training, and experience. Human resource or labor is a key factor of production. Alright, so the developing a human resource is where you enhance your people, your citizens. Then we have this one that asks us, the big 6 marks one. Explain 2 ways in which the private sector could invest in human resource development. And we kind of looked at that when we looked at how entrepreneurs can help the economy on a whole. So let's just look at it still based on what the textbook has. So let's look at it from the textbook again. The development of human resource occurs through education, training, and experience. Human resource or labor is key factor of production. Besides its obvious function in producing goods and services, labor is the driver of creativity, innovation, and technology. The development of human resource helps with the problem of unemployment, as people become more marketable and suitable for job positions. They can choose to become entrepreneurs and employers rather than employees when they have been educated and trained. Entrepreneurs stimulate economic activity and bring innovation to all areas, including rural and development. So the question asks you, explain 2 ways in which private sectors could invest in human resource development. This one is a very commonsensical answer. All you have to do is look at ways in which human development occurs. So I said education, training, experience. And you apply that to the private sector. For example, there are private companies that actually offers children, people, adults, scholarships to go to school and pursue advanced education. And when they come back, of course, they might sign a contract and say they're going to work for us for X amount of years, but still, they are going to foot the bill for that individual or in group of individuals so that they can become better at their job, better educated, so that they can, enhance the overall human resource right there. So, of course, scholarship programs would be one. Again, companies tend to put on workshops. A lot of companies put on workshops for their employees. At the end of it, yes, they're working for you, but the person would become better skilled, better informed, better trained at that particular skill. And so therefore, that would have enhanced the human resource of that person. They can later on pass that on to more people, or they can use it within the company to build the company, which could in turn help the economy on a whole. So that's another way. So scholarships, workshops, of course, training. A lot of companies offer in-house training to their employees and employers both, and so this can help to develop the human resource. Experience, again, a lot of private sector, they can allow individuals to go to certain places, leave their job, go overseas, work for certain companies, parent companies, subsidiaries, whatever, and come back with that experience and use that experience to enhance the overall human product, the human development of that country. So this question, you can just simply use the knowledge that you know, and you can apply it to the private sector and see how the private sector can enhance the human resource, whether it is through training, through education, through experiences, and things like that. The main point here is that the private sector would be the ones who foot the bill of helping to enhance the overall human resource within the country, within the economy. So explain two ways in which private sector could invest in human resource development. Of course, the best thing is education, training, experience, and you state how the private sector can invest in that. And we see it all the time, as I said before. Companies say, okay, if you go and study, I pay back half for your master's degree, I pay you back for your bachelor's degree, that kind of stuff. Or I give you a full scholarship, full ride through university, things like that. I bring you on as an intern, and so therefore you can learn the skills and knowledge that internship programs. You learn the skill and knowledge that you can use to go and enhance yourself. Experience, again, in internship programs build experience for individuals, and so they can, when they finish, go out and be a more developed human resource. So again, this one, you just need to apply what you already know, and so you'll be able to knock down 6 marks easily. All right, and so if you finish before time is called, check your work on this test. All right, check your work on this test. That's the end of it. January CSEC 2020. That's the end of this paper. All right, so again, these are new from the new syllabus, 2019-2020 new syllabus. So make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when the others are dropped. All right, so that's it for now. That is for this past paper. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I sure hope that Learn SKN would have been able to help you to pass your POB exam as we try to develop our human resource in the Caribbean region. All right, thanks for watching, thanks for listening.